This is the energy of dismantling fear-based power structures and revolution, baby. Welcome to Abundant Universe, your go-to podcast for becoming your most empowered, powerful, abundant, truest, and highest possible self through self-mastery, quantum healing, spiritual activation, soul expansion, and ascension. Here we talk about your self-concept, subconscious beliefs, science, spirituality, mindful manifestation, magic, mysticism, remembering and embodying who you really are, and all things esoteric. I'm your friendly neighborhood self-mastery and mindful manifestation mentor, energy alchemist, quantum healer, spiritual ascension activator, and host, Elle Brandlin. And today we're talking about why the era of unconditional love is upon us and corrupt, fear-based power structures are coming to a close. So hang out with me until the end to hear all about it. And be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening so you'll never miss an episode. If you're on YouTube, please like the video to tell the algorithm to show it to more people because that helps everyone out. And without further ado, let's get into it. So here's why I think this is the case, thanks to an intense amount of literally amazing shifts in the cosmos, because as above, so below, right? To begin with, way back on October 22nd, 2022, we entered a new Venus star point era when it moved out of the very masculine, warrior-like energy of Mars and into the very feminine energy of Venus, which is first and foremost the planet of love. And that's where it'll stay for about the next 100 years. So that really kicked off this whole collective paradigm shift. Plus, some other slightly lesser but not unimportant supporting shifts have been happening ever since. But then yesterday, the mother of all shifts started when Pluto began its gradual transit out of Capricorn and into Aquarius for the first time since the period between 1777 and 1797. And what makes it gradual is the fact that it's going to move back and forth between Aquarius when it's direct and Capricorn when it's in retrograde until it's finally securely in Aquarius in November of next year for about the next 20 years. So this back and forth will certainly make for an interesting and lengthy transition, but there are many reasons Pluto being in Aquarius will help bring an end to corrupt and fear-based systems of power. There's also actual historical evidence to back this up, if you don't believe me, in the form of both the American Revolution and the French Revolution occurring the last time Pluto was in Aquarius. And here's why this positioning brings about such a major shift in collective and cultural energy, always, but especially since the Heavens Cross portal began opening on Wednesday. So if you haven't listened to Wednesday's episode, definitely hit that up after this to understand why that's important and what it means for us. Because there's truly never been another time in history when the Venus star point was in Venus, the veil between realms was at its thinnest ever, and Pluto was in Aquarius. So this is a truly remarkable time to be alive during this mass awakening on Earth. But anyway, Pluto's energy requires anything hidden to come to light. So corruption, power imbalances, and anything like that is fair game during this time. It represents the continual cycles of destruction and creation because destruction always leads to new creation, and it's all about power, transformation, regeneration, and eliminating anything that prevents growth, like corrupt and unbalanced power structures that keep the vast majority of people powerless in order to enrich a very small few. And Aquarius is a sign of change and innovation that honors the unique genius in every person, rules science, technology and the internet, space exploration, astrology, and the human collective. So that's the energy of our future. And it's also aligned with themes of its ruling planet, Uranus, which has an unpredictable and destabilizing energy. So we have to remember that if things seem unstable during this time, it's just making way for the necessary changes we need to go from the energy of fear to the energy of unconditional love. And if you're wondering why I say Uranus that way, it's because there's a 13-year-old living in my brain who snickers if I say it any other way. So while Pluto is in Aquarius, expect a lot of corruption to be exposed and a redistribution of power to a more egalitarian system. Because this is the energy of dismantling fear-based power structures and revolution, baby. And all of this is bad news for those who rely on fear-based systems to stay in charge, and I never want to instill fear or be an alarmist in any way, but I also believe in being prepared and looking to history because it often repeats itself. So it's possible we'll see an uptick in fear-based strategies of corrupt systems and leaders clinging to their power out of desperation in the wake of these shifting energies. Basically, they know their time is up. Plus, there's a certain portion of the collective that is still very much under the sway of fear, not incredibly interested in thinking for themselves, and they have a tendency to worship the fear-based power structures because they mistake that for strength, oftentimes due to trauma. And this is because lower levels of consciousness tend to see sovereignty, independence, and freedom as dark, evil, and even demonic due to the methods of trauma-based mind control executed by fear-based leaders who uphold corruption and imbalance of power for their own enrichment. But those who are in a higher state of consciousness don't need to give their power away to an external force to feel safe and secure because they know their true safety and security comes from the source within. And think of it this way, if we were meant to be controlled by governments and or through religion, fear and trauma-based programming wouldn't be necessary to keep that paradigm intact. But the good news is more and more people have awakened and are awakening to the truth, and the light of our awareness is making it less and less possible for corruption to hide in the shadows. And once you start awakening, you become aware that unconditional love is the truth and really the only way forward because it's our natural state of being. So that is where the collective is headed in this new energy, and that is the era that's now upon us. Because once you start remembering who the fuck you really are, you can't forget. So if you want my help, not only remembering who the fuck you really are, but also embodying it so you can experience your soul's highest expression in human form, hit up the show notes or description box below to find out how you can work with me. Also, I'm announcing a brand new membership, especially for mindful manifestors today. And if you join before April 1st, you'll get in for the very special pre-sale monthly subscription price of just $5.99. So I'll also put the link for that below if you would rather check that out first, because you deserve to live in a reality of freedom, fulfillment, peace, harmony, unconditional love, the highest joy, magic, and abundance in every aspect of your life simply by being your true self and fulfilling your purpose. And I believe in you, so you should too. Much love.